Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Kuma Style Reviews. What we have is Garatron's G.O.D. 1 Thunderstorm. Comes in at about 9¼ inches tall, somewhere between 9.25, maybe 9 1/8, 9 1/6. I'm not exactly sure. But right around the height of Masterpiece Optimus Prime, just slightly taller. Roundabout view there. Of course, we're giving it the top to bottom. What I like about this toy, and I'll just say it off the bat, is that it's very unapologetically Thunderwing. This is the Stormbringer version of Thunderwing, which has the armored mode as well as his plain mode. And just so you guys can see what scale it's supposed to be, I consider it classic scale because this is a huge figure. Goes best with Legends, to be honest with you, but that's why I have all those different versions of Optimus Prime, the Make Toys, Cross Dimension, Masterpiece, etc. Now we're just going over the posability here. But like I was saying, this thing is just, it's Thunderwing. There's none of that artistic license. There's no fiddling with this and that, so it's not too close. No, this company just said, we're going to make a Thunderwing, and it's Thunderwing. The only thing that's not Thunderwing is the name, which is Thunderstorm. Pretty damn close on that too, but I really dig it. Now, looking at the posability here, I would say it's pretty standard. Now, another thing that pushes me towards the classics classification with this guy is the posability. It's missing some things like ab crunch and things like that. If you look, it has plenty of articulation, but it fits more into that higher end classics level than what a Masterpiece would be at this size, especially made by a third company that doesn't really have those restraints and things like that. But the posability that it does have is good. Lots of ratcheting joints and things like that. None of them are too wide apart. So even in the shoulders there, which do ratchet, they're really small ratchets, so you get a lot of range of motions and you just don't feel those limits of ones with the bigger spaces. I do like that the skirts get out of the way. I know it's for the transformation and things like that into his jet mode, but it's good that it's there. And the wings are opposable too, so it's nice to be able to move those out of the way as well. Now, I know it's nitpicky because he's definitely passable in terms of posability, but I wish that, man, maybe if there was even a $30 price bump or whatever it takes, that it was just that next level of posability, because that would have, this toy is, easily 7 to 8, but that would have put it in the 9 to 10 range. Easy. So here it is, Stormbringer armor. Freaking awesome. It brings it to another almost 2 inches tall, about 11 inches on the dot, just borderline right there. So it went from 9 to 11 inches. There is a waist extender that it uses. Yeah, this thing is ginormous, and it really fits that classics collection well at this height. Now another bottom to top, top to bottom, things like that. And I'm impressed with what they did with the armor and stuff because it looks dead on. I mean, like I said, there's just not that finagling with the design and things like that that you see a lot of the time. So just going over the posability here, I do like that there are things like the cockpit that comes up and can actually show Thunderstorm's face. But even those giant claw arms and things like that, they're posable. He has movable fingers. This thing has LEDs. It's awesome. And even as big as it is, they made sure to give him plenty of hill, as you saw there, so he doesn't tip back or anything like that. It's a fun toy to play with too. And those claws do spin, as well as the propellers on top of his shoulders. So if you want some different positioning of the claws and things like that, maybe a diagonal instead of a cross, that kind of stuff, you can definitely spin those around. The buttons are right inside of the arm there. Switches. It's just finding the right angle to actually get that one to click. They click fine, but Again, arms fully extended around the camera, etc., etc. It's a little bit different than having the toy 4 inches from your face. And you know, as expected, this thing doesn't do much. And I don't want this to come off like it's flimsy or anything like that, because it's definitely not. Things tab into place well, but the ratchets are really strong, and this is a bigger, heavier figure. So when you're moving those parts around, it does create a lot of friction there. So things might pop, come loose, this and that. You gotta kind of expect that with a figure of this size. And just taking a look at how bright these LEDs are. They're pretty good. Now, they are a lot brighter at the bright base of that hand there, because that's where the LED lies. And it does shoot through the claws. I wish it did a bit more though, but I mean, just by design, it's a bit limited there in terms of how far that light travels. It's pretty bright. I dig it. Alright, and here's the jet mode, which is huge. Just huge. Holding this thing in hand, it's weird because even though technically the Stormbringer armor, or Berserker mode by the instructions, is the biggest, this is just massive. And my hands aren't small by any means, but I mean the wingspan, 15 inches across right there. It's a big, big jet. I dig it. And again, it's very comic accurate. It's Thunderwing. Now, I do have my quirks, you know, about things like the posability and stuff like that. I know it's meant to be a classics toy, not a masterpiece, and on that end, but the general design of this thing is just on. I really have no complaints with the way it looks by any means. And it's great plastic quality and things like that. I mean, it's weird how these new companies are coming out right out of the gate. And I know that designers contract, factories contract, this and that. So a lot of people and factories are working with a lot of companies, you know. But it's cool to see to where you're not afraid to buy these first products from companies anymore, because they're right there with another company's 20th product. Quality wise, this thing is just damn good. And that's just showing off the wheel there. Again, this has been Garatron's G.O.D. 01 Thunderstorm. I dig it. You can check out the full written review gallery, kumastyle.com. Order yours, TCP. Links in the description.